5155 review. We're going to start with the right triangle. We're going to draw our arrow and label the sides. So we draw our arrow out of the right angle. This is our hypotenuse, also our C side. Our shortest side is A, and our medium side is B. We're going to go ahead and plug in our values into the Pythagorean theorem. So 10 squared plus 24 squared is equal to C squared. 10 squared is 100, plus 24 squared is 576, is equal to C squared. 676 is equal to C squared. Is the variable on the left? It's not. So we're going to use symmetrical. C squared is equal to 676. In order to get rid of the square, we're going to square root both sides. That knocks out the square, leaving us with C is equal to 26 inches. The next problem that we have gives us 3 measurements of a right triangle, and we're going to see if this is actually the measurements of a right triangle. So the first thing that we're going to do is label our parts. So our largest side is going to be C, our smallest side is going to be A, and the medium side is going to be B. We're going to go ahead and plug it into Pythagorean's theorem. So we're going to do 18 squared plus 52 squared equals 60 squared. 18 squared is 324 plus 52 squared is 2704 is equal to 60 squared, which is 3600. 324 plus 2704 is 3028. And 3028 does not equal 3600. So no, these measurements are not the measurements of a right triangle. We have a building with a ladder that is laying up against the building. And we're trying to figure out how far up the building the ladder is touching. So the first thing that we notice is that we have a right angle, so it is a right triangle. So we're going to draw our arrow and label our sides. This is our hypotenuse, which is our C. Our shortest side is our A, and our medium side is our B. We're going to go ahead and plug it into Pythagorean's theorem. So 14.7 squared plus B squared, since we don't know that length, is equal to 32 squared. 14.7 squared is 216.09 plus B squared is equal to 1024. Is the B on the left? Yes. Is he first? No. So we're going to do commutative property of addition. So B squared plus 216.09 is equal to 1024. Is he alone? No. So we're going to zero pair out 216.09 and 216.09. So B squared is equal to 807.91. Now to find B, we're going to take the square root of both sides. That cancels out the 2. And that's going to give us B is equal to 28.4 feet, rounding to the nearest tenth. Number 4. We're going to use the distance formula to figure out how long the line segment is from 7,1 to 2,5. So the first thing that we're going to do is label our ordered pairs x1, y1, x2, y2. we're going to write our distance formula. D equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. That's our formula. Now for our substitution step. D equals our x2 is 2 minus our x1, which is 7, squared plus y2, which is 5, minus y1, which is 1, squared. D equals. Keep change will give us negative 5 squared plus 4 squared. Now remember, when you put your negative 5 into your calculator, to include the parentheses so that you get your positive answer. A negative times a negative is a positive. So this is going to be the square root of 25 plus 16, which equals the square root of 41. So D is going to equal 6.4 units, rounded to the nearest tenth. Number 5. If angle 7 is 75 degrees, so we're going to go ahead and write in 75 degrees, then how many degrees is angle 3? Well, you'll notice that angle 3 is to the left of the transversal and is to the left of the parallel line and below the transversal. And angle 7 is to the left of the parallel line and below the transversal. So they're both in the same location, different parallel lines, so they are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are congruent or equal, so angle 3 would also be 75 degrees. All right, the next one, we're finding angle 1 if angle 8 is 105 degrees. So you'll notice that if I draw in my dotted lines between the two parallel lines, I have interior and exterior angles. 2, 4, 5, 7 are interior angles. 1, 3, 6, 8 are exterior angles. Angle 1 is above the transversal. Angle 8 is below the transversal. So they're alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles are congruent, or they're equal. So that would make angle 1 105. Alternate exterior. All right, now we're trying to find angle 2. So we know that angle 7 is 75 degrees. And we're trying to find angle 2. Again, we're going to dot in our dotted lines inside the parallel lines, making our box. So we have 2, 4, 5, and 6 are interior angles. 1, 3, 6, 8 are exterior angles. 7 and 2 are alternate interior angles because they're on alternate sides of the transversal. So alternate interior angles, making them the same degrees. Our bonus. We're trying to find angle 5 if angle 6 is 75 degrees. So if angle 6 is 75 degrees, we know that angle 5 and angle 6 are linear and supplementary because they have rays that form a straight line. So we would do 180 minus 75 degrees and get 105 for angle 5. These both are supplementary. They're linear because one of the rays of each angle makes a straight line. So supplementary, linear. And now you've reviewed for your quiz.